Iceland. Let's go to Iceland. Let's go to Iceland. Let's go to Iceland. It is our frozen land. Why we go, we don't know. We got no place to go. A land of ice. It's so the Mars. Let's go to Iceland. Let's go to Iceland. Let's go to Iceland. Let's go to Iceland.
Det är som två olika saker då. För att fikat ska ju bara vara på ett kvitto.
Ja, och mat.
Mat är på sitt eget kvitto också. Och sen så är typ alltså läkemedel är på sitt eget också.
Det var inte svårt.
Säg hej.
Hej.
Nu är det efterfest. Fan gör man? Jävla dynga.
Lite kläder, kostym. Här har vi smink. Försöker du hålla ut i julkatten?
Ja, exakt.
Stäng dörren.
Vi låter fotografen göra sitt.
Hur är detta fotorelaterat exakt?
Ja, men om du säger det kan ju vara längre ner eller längre upp.
Nej, ner.
Där.
Jag ska skaka på grenarna här. Så i skuggan här så får vi visa som att det blåser ute.
Det är cinematic, vi måste ju fatta vad som
Det är
händer.
liksom här gör ju inte chefsfotografer.
Nej, I'm fired.
Och sen efter denna inställningen, då ska ju ni egentligen vara parallellt här. Alltså ni ska vara i mitten av denna dörröppningen. Så detta gör vi fuskar nu bara. Film är bara fusk hela tiden.
Scen 2.6a, tagning 1.
You need to light the cross. The cross needs some lighting because it's holy. När det är varsågod, då är det som att du hör. Då rullar vi allting.
Fan, jag ska bara sitta nu.
Wow. DP.
Ja, det är scen 4.
Det här blir jättebra.
Nu kör vi för fan.
Så du inte på att svettas ihjäl där.
Jag kan klappa åt Jimmy utifall. Sen miau. Kockad. Titta långsamt upp. Ner med geväret lite. Och så upp med geväret och skjut. That's a wrap, people! Eller?
Let's go to Iceland. 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 It is our frozen land. Why we go, we don't know. We got no place to go. A land of ice. It's so the Mars.
Sov du unga Austin min ut i regnir grætur Mamma geymir gullin þinn gamla leik og völu skrín Við skulum ekki vakum tímar nætur Það makt sem mykrið veið minn hugur þungur Oft ég svarta sandin leið Svíðja grænan enga reið
Come on.
Come on! Go to the light! So what's the story around Frostbiter? Why did you start the whole thing?
I am a filmmaker as well, and I'm really interested in horror and was raised on horror. And like here we have all these like folklore and all these stories, all these horror. We've been telling ghost stories like since forever, and so we have them, and we have the landscaping, we have everything to do it. But those films are not getting made here because all the Icelandic films are funded by the Icelandic Film Fund.
Yes.
And they only fund films that are gonna do well, like in festival or elsewhere. So it has to be based on Icelandic reality. So it's just dramas that get funded. So I wanted to, like, I was looking what they were doing in north of Norway with Dead Snow, where they just made a low budget film and then it turned into a huge thing. So I was thinking, like, this, like north of Norway, like we can also do this. So I thought we could, like, to make the festival, we could look what other people are doing, how they're making things, and draw inspiration as Icelandic filmmakers. Because horror doesn't need to be big budget things.
No.
Like, because people forgive anything in horror, like even if the acting is bad and they're like terrible effects and the blood looks fake. But if there's something about horror, you will forgive it if the story is good, if the film is good, if it gives you something.
It's so much about atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you can have really, really funny horror. You can have terrible horror. You can have like haunting horror. Like, and that's what like really inspires us to have this festival year to year.
Jag är här på Island, Sägen Film.
Tydliga spår av julkatt. Being a Yule cat hunter, it's a complicated profession. Here we see the last remaining Yule cat hunter, Bjarke Kjeldsen, going slightly insane on all fours. Using his nasal abilities, he locates what seems to be some leftover human excrement. Brilliant. Watch how Bjarke tries to convey a bunch of scheisse while ruining a most excellent shot of a water-filled snow puddle. Taking pictures of no real consequence is also typical for a Yule cat hunter. The team is forced to travel across the country under extremely difficult conditions, surviving with only a teaspoon of Icelandic meat soup every 5 days. It is now only a matter of time before the whole expedition goes completely kaput. But now this silly narration has overstayed its welcome, so it's time to stop, und so weiter.
You've sort of already dipped your toes into this, but how is it on Iceland? Like, do you have a short film collectives and funding programs and stuff?
Not really. It all really goes to the Icelandic Film Fund, and they fund like some shorts, but it's like there's not a lot of money there. It is just mostly the dramas that are getting funded.
This is actually something that draws us together, I think. As far as we know, we've been making movies for 15 years, like professionally, but we also want to make our own films, and horror is like what we love the most because it just grips your heart and can make you cry, can make you laugh, make you scream. But Sweden just don't really like horror. It's like it's a bad thing. We're the Ingmar Bergman country, Ruben Östlund country, and then in Denmark they have like the Mads Mikkelsen stuff, and like no, we don't really do horror. And then Norway, they actually love horror, and they have multiple festivals and
also
multiple.
the Finnish people. The Finnish people,
love it too.
I feel like in Iceland, at least, we are not making films for the Icelandic audience. We're making films for the festivals and for the foreigners to see the landscape and see how depressed we are, basically.
I think we have a similar opinion. I hope the winds are changing a bit, at least.
And we're sort of noticing that as well, because we're now actually, we're starting to co-produce our next big film with Norway. But like the next big thing should be like, we really want to make a bigger film with like Denmark and Norway and Iceland, maybe Finland. But it's like, if the Nordic countries could co-produce a bit more, maybe the Icelandic politicians could see that like, hey, there are guys in Sweden and there are girls in Norway. And they want to make a movie about Iceland, and then, come over here.
Yeah.
I think there should also be like you can like go, hey, so
it's weird. känns väldigt häftigt att vi har sett hela Island på en hel dag, helt enkelt skulle man kunna säga. Vi har sett vulkaner, vi har sett geysrar, natur, vi har sett vistor, vi har sett berg, vi har sett Källson, vi har sett Bjarkadotter. Så har vi sett nu då Islands enda stad, Reykjavik. Vi har följt spåren. Nu så tror vi att vi är nära. Oj, den letar också efter julkatten. Men vi har använt moderna medel.
Nej, nu får vi börja fråga lokalbefolkningen för det här går inte.
Vi går häråt då, så det måste ju vara åt detta hållet. Oj, icke dricka vatten. Ja, vi är ju här.
Ja, alltså, till våran stora besvikelse så är katten tyvärr tillfälligt stängd. Många frågor hopar sig. Hur kan en katt vara stängd? Vi är mycket besvikna.
Som tur är så finns julkatten på en filmfestival.
Ja.
Klipp till festivalen! Nu går vi och dricker kaffe.
Hello and welcome to the 8th annual Frostbiter Horror Film Festival, and thank you for coming. We have a packed schedule of screenings today.
I wanna ask, like, all of you, why make horror?
I think it's the ultimate genre to explore humanity and the reflections we can find in, like, particularly monsters and in folklore. It's just the one genre that pushes the characters to their limits, which I don't feel like any other genre really does as well.
Well, for me, I just like monsters. And I have no deeper thoughts about it, but I love to realize things in my head coming true on the screen.
All the Icelanders know this is a like Icelandic folklore about the Yule cat. Do you have similar things in Sweden about the cat that, I don't know, kills people or something?
I haven't heard any Swedish folklore about a big black cat with yellow eyes.
No, so in Sweden we have the Yule goat, so it's actually more close to the Krampus. If you know Krampus, it's in Poland. I just delve into this stuff. Even in Sweden we have like this really close bond to our culture and folklore, not as much as you guys. And then I sort of started to look around the world, like in Africa and Asia and America. When I stumbled upon Yule Katrin, I just fell in love with that guy. I hope that we can come back here to shoot a feature film or a short film in the next 10 years. That would be great.
Yeah, we will start again.
And we're happy to be here.
We're happy.
We're on this festival circuit that we've had with Yule Cat. We've had the chance to talk to so many filmmakers in Denmark and in Sweden and in Norway through our producer. Just how the horror landscape is slowly, finally changing in the Nordic countries.
Skål.
Skål.
Yes.
Skål.
I need an alcohol-free. I'm also here.
The Northlander.
Let's go to Iceland. 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 It is a frozen land. Why we go? We don't know. We got no place to go. A land of ice. It's all on earth. Let's go to Iceland.